Did you know that many times in our busy lives, we take on a simple task and end up spending an entire week to finish it, even though that same task could actually be completed in just 1 hour? Imagine if suddenly you had access to a magical time machine that could help you finish a week's work in just 60 minutes. But here's the thing, there's no magic or sorcery involved here. This is all about deep focus, smart planning, and time management techniques. Sometimes we become so absorbed in a task that hours pass by without us even realizing it. We look up and think, didn't I just start a few minutes ago? So in today's video, I'm going to share with you some secret formulas. If you apply these techniques, you'll be able to finish 7 days worth of work in just 90 minutes. Tasks that used to take you weeks will now become incredibly easy to complete. Let me share something fascinating with you. Albert Einstein spent years working on complex physics problems alongside his friends and colleagues. He tried countless approaches, but couldn't crack the code. Then one day, something remarkable happened. He entered a deep flow state, and in that single moment, his brain became supercharged with clarity. That's when he solved the general theory of relativity. Or take Richard Wagner. He spent months struggling to compose his music, unable to finish his pieces. Then one day, while taking a walk outdoors and resting near a riverbank, he suddenly entered such a profound flow state that melodies began flooding his mind effortlessly. Now here's what's truly amazing about these stories. These breakthroughs didn't happen by accident. Yes, they seemed sudden, but what if I told you that you could intentionally enter this same flow state whenever you wanted? What would that be like? You might not believe me, but this isn't fantasy or fiction. In every person's life, unexpected moments of brilliance can strike at any time under the right conditions. Nobody knows exactly when inspiration will hit. This is the pure reality. Let me give you a personal example. Our channel's most popular video didn't come from weeks of planning. I had the idea, immediately started working on it without overthinking, and today it's the most viewed content on our channel. If you haven't seen that video yet, I recommend watching it after finishing this one. The link will be in the description, and you'll find Steve Jobs' incredibly inspiring speech there. So if you want to be successful in life, working hard alone isn't enough. You need to know where to apply your efforts and how much focus to dedicate to each task. Here's something incredible. Our brain generates between 60,000 and 70,000 thoughts per day. That's why when we're trying to focus on important work, our mind suddenly remembers we haven't checked our messages, or wonders what someone posted on social media, or thinks about what to cook for dinner. As a result, the most important tasks remain incomplete. So the question becomes, how do we increase our focus? First, you need to make your surroundings peaceful. Turn off all mobile notifications, pay attention, and make sure there are no unnecessary objects in your line of sight that could break your concentration. Create a completely quiet, dedicated workspace. We often think that doing multiple things simultaneously will save time, but the reality is that multitasking actually means multi-distraction. If you try to do 10 tasks at once, nothing will be completed properly. Our brain cannot maintain deep focus when constantly switching between activities. Single tasking is the key to excellence. The human mind cannot maintain attention continuously for hours and hours without breaks. That's why the best method is the Pomodoro technique. We've discussed this approach in detail in our previous videos, so I won't go deep into it today, but let me give you a simple analogy. Imagine you're writing with a pencil. After writing for a while, the pencil tip becomes dull and the writing gets unclear. To make the writing sharp again, you need to sharpen the pencil with a cutter. Then, the writing becomes clear once more. Your mind works exactly the same way. it needs periodic sharpening through short breaks to maintain peak performance. Let me share more inspiring stories with you. Isaac Newton spent years wondering why things always fall downward instead of floating up or sideways. The more he thought about it, the more the answer eluded him. Then one day, while sitting in a garden, an apple suddenly fell from a tree right in front of him. In that single moment of inspiration, he discovered the law of universal gravitation, the very law that would one day transform all of physics. Years and years of effort culminated in that one brilliant insight, making him one of history's greatest scientists. Archimedes wanted to prove to the king whether his golden crown was pure gold or mixed with cheaper metals. After many attempts, he couldn't figure out any method. Then while taking a bath, he noticed water splashing out as he got in. Suddenly, the idea struck him. That moment of clarity gave birth to his famous principle of displacement. J.K. Rowling's life was filled with struggles. At one point, she was nearly broke and suffering from depression. Then one day, sitting on a train, the story of a magical boy suddenly came to her mind. A boy who would be named Harry Potter. That single idea sparked her to start writing, and the rest is history. Alexander Fleming faced rejection after rejection throughout his life. Even at the age of 65 years old, he hadn't achieved success. But suddenly, an idea came to him. He would start a business based on his fried chicken recipe. One by one, he pitched his concept to restaurants and eventually built an empire. Notice the pattern here. Each person I mentioned struggled for years without success. But then one moment, one idea, one thought completely transformed their lives. Newton's apple falling, Archimedes in the bathtub, Rowling on the train. These moments can only be created through the 3 steps I mentioned earlier: eliminating distractions, avoiding multitasking, and dividing your time into focused blocks. This is how you achieve deep focus. This is how you create your own breakthrough moment. But remember, focus doesn't develop overnight. It's built through consistent practice. So starting today, dedicate at least 20 minutes of complete concentration to studying or working. Tomorrow, extend it to 30 minutes, then an hour, then 2 hours. Gradually, your focus capacity will expand dramatically. I hope you'll implement the techniques shared in today's video in your practical life. Once you master these skills and bring them under your control, nobody will be able to stop you from achieving greatness.